Okay, this last problem you did was a question on quartiles, and quartiles is dividing a number of elements into quarters. So the first quartile, which I think they wrote as Q1, is where 25% of the elements fall before that. Right? So 25% of the set falls in that first quartile. And the second quartile is where 50% of the elements fall in that. That's Q2. And Q3 is where 75% of them fall in there. Okay? So Q2 makes up 50% of the elements, and up to Q3 makes up 75, and then this is just the upper quartile. This one's just called the upper. And technically it would be Q4, right? And this one would be Q0, but that doesn't really matter. Don't worry about those two things. Okay, so if I had a set of elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, we'll say. So the median is the second quartile. It's right here. You count 3 elements on this side, 3 elements on this side. That's the 50 percentile. That's actually Q2, right? And then you have to say, okay, well, where is Q1 and Q3? I have 3 on each side. Well, you just find the middle median of that set that's before that, and that goes right through 2. So that's where the 25th percentile would be. That's Q1. And over here, the 75th, or Q3, would be through the 6. Okay? Now that's with a number of elements. That's 7. Now, your question was a little trickier because you had 5 elements. So let's just look at 5 elements, and then we'll look at the numbers that you had. So if you had 5 elements, well, the same thing kind of happens where the 3, the one in the middle, becomes the Q2, right? That's the 50 percentile. That's also the median, right? Now the question becomes, well, it was really easy up here to see, which one was in the middle, right? Where Q1 and Q3 came about. But it's really it's a little weirder over here. So well, where is Q1 in here, and where is Q1 over here and Q3 over here? Well, if it was in the middle of this set, it's in the middle of the set that I have left. So it's in between those two. So it would be 1.5. 1.5 would be Q1, sorry. And over here, 4.5 would be Q3. Okay? So now let's look at the numbers that you actually had. Alright, they gave you, it was 10, something, 30, something, and 60, right? There were 5 numbers, okay? So right away they told us, well, this is Q2 right there, Q2. And remember the rule right here. Out of the 2 elements that are left over, you take the average of them to find Q1. So the average of this number, and we'll call this X, right? The average of those 2 is Q1, right? Q1. And they told us Q1 was 12.5. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to say, okay, 10 plus X divided by 2 is equal to 12.5. I took the average of those 2, just like I did on the one above this. And when I do that, I get 10 plus X equals 25. X equals 15. So I know that this magic number over here is 15. I'll just write that here for now. Okay? X is 15. And I'll call this one over here Y. Well, that's the same thing when I'm looking for Q3. Q3 is going to be the average of these 2 guys, right? Q3. And that is 60 plus Y over 2. And they told us that Q3 was 52.5. So that'll equal 52.5. Which means 60 plus Y equals 105. Which means Y equals 45. And the last thing we have to do is find the sum of all those things. So 10 plus 15 plus 30 plus 45 plus 60. Okay? These 2 together make 105. These 3 together make 55. And all together, that adds up to 160. So he was right, believe it or not.